The Deshaun Watson rumors have been flying the last few days, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. So which team is in the best position to get him? What is it going to cost to get him? Well, I'm telling you, the Jets are already in the best position to get Deshaun Watson. And has our trade offer already been floated?
Jets, Jets!
Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Guys, I'm so excited for this Deshaun Watson news and all the rumors that are flying around. It just gets my juices pumping. If you guys want to talk about it tonight, I'll be live Monday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock for my live call-in show. And then Tuesday night, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock for our Talking Jets panel. We're going to be talking all these head coaching rumors, or not head coaching rumors, I guess head coaching hire, as well as the Deshaun Watson rumors. We want to get all your input and just talk this all out. What is happening with the Jets in our future? I just can't wait to find out. But guys, let's talk about our topic of the day, and that is what team is in the best position to get Deshaun Watson, and why I think that team is the New York Jets, and was our trade offer already put forward? This is a lot to go through, so let's break it down little by little. Now, what am I talking about in terms of why I think the Jets are in the best position to get Deshaun Watson? Well, obviously, we kind of need a quarterback. We have Sam Darnold, but, 32nd ranked quarterback versus top 3 ranked quarterback. A little bit of a disparity, a little bit of a gap there. So the Jets want to get Deshaun Watson. I fully believe that. Now, why are the Jets the best landing spot? Well, the Jets own the number 2 overall pick, and right now that is going to be looking really attractive because aside from having the number 1 overall pick where you could pick literally any quarterback, number 2 is going to be the second best option. Now, who owns the number 1 overall pick? Well, that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you think that the Texans are going to trade Deshaun Watson within their own division just to roll the dice on Trevor Lawrence, I would be pretty stunned. I would be pretty shocked if that actually happened. I don't think there is any option that the Texans trade him to the Colts or the Jaguars because you don't want to face this guy 2 times a year for the next 10 years. That's just bananas. All right, so Jacksonville's out of the way. Well, the other teams that people are really talking about are the 49ers, the Jets, and the Dolphins. Well, if you're looking at the 49ers, what can they really offer? They can trade Jimmy Garoppolo, but at the same time, if they trade Jimmy G to the Texans, yes, there's the connection with Caserio and Easterby and all that with Jimmy G, but they're going to wind up paying him more money than it'd be worth, and their first-round pick winds up being 12th overall. So are you really benefiting that much? Maybe they love Jimmy G. I don't necessarily see it. Not to mention the whole aspect of trying to get as many draft picks as possible. Getting the 12th pick versus getting a higher pick may not look as attractive there. Now, unless Watson comes out and says, I'm only playing for the 49ers, which is possible, I guess. I don't know if that's going to be the route he necessarily takes, but it could be a strong option. That's, could happen in theory. Now we look at the Dolphins. The Dolphins own the 3rd pick and run 1 pick behind the Jets. It's the pick that Houston already traded to Miami in the Laramie Tunsil trade. So if I'm the Houston Texans and I'm looking at this like, okay, Tua might be attractive, but we have to trade our star quarterback for the pick we should have already had. Like that to me, you don't want to wind up with egg on your face twice, and not having the 3rd overall pick in this draft is already bad enough. Are you going to compound that by trading away your quarterback to the team that fleeced you for the Laramie Tunsil trade just so they can have Watson? And I don't know. For me, this doesn't seem to make sense. So when I'm kind of narrowing it down, I'm looking at a few things. I'm looking at, all right, the Texans are going to want one of a few different quarterbacks. And I think the Jets sitting at 2, the Dolphins sitting at 3 are going to be the 2 best options. So you're basically breaking it down to, Lawrence is going 1 overall. So you're coming down to Fields, Wilson, Sam Darnold, and Tua. Now, the Jets own 3 of those 4 options because if you take the 3rd overall pick, you're guaranteed more than likely to be missing out on one of those quarterbacks in the draft. And if you're trading away your star quarterback, you might as well get the guy that you actually want. So sitting at 2 is going to be kind of nice for the Jets and the Texans. Not to mention, if there really is more under the surface here that we're not hearing about, like if there are racial type of issues here, there's no guarantee that Tua and Fields are going to be options for the Texans unless they decide to totally flip the script and try to, reverse whatever, trajectory they appear to be on right now. So does that mean Sam and Wilson are the 2 options? Maybe Tua and Fields don't want to play there. I don't know. It'll be interesting. nonetheless. But I think having the second overall pick and not trading back with the Dolphins, because that's the pick you already had. Like, that would make you look so silly, in my opinion. So I think the Jets are in a good position here. Now, Jet fans who say we don't want to lose the number 2 overall pick, keep dreaming. There's no way the Jets are getting Deshaun Watson without giving up the number 2 overall pick. And honestly, if you're looking at trading the number 2 overall pick anyway, you probably would have taken a quarterback in Zach Wilson. And if you're asking me if I'd rather have Deshaun Watson or Zach Wilson, it's Deshaun Watson every day. Because Wilson could only turn out to be, what you hope is Deshaun Watson. Like, Deshaun Watson is the proven product. So get the number 2 pick out of the way, Jet fans. That is going in a trade if we happen to make it. Now, a trade that was put forward, and one that I think could be the Jets' actual trade offer, was put forward by Daniel Jeremiah. And he had pitched the idea that the Jets would be giving up 3 first-round picks. That would be the second overall pick this year, a first-round pick in 2022, and a first-round pick in 2023. So the Jets would still keep the Seattle pick this year, one of the 2 picks next year. I would imagine they'd trade their Jets pick or whatever the higher of the 2 first-round picks is next year, and then their only first-round pick in 2023. So these are interesting options. Now, why am I taking any stock into what Daniel Jeremiah says? Well, he worked with Joe Douglas in Baltimore as a scout for 4 years. So I think these guys are actually, have a little bit of inside knowledge. And this could be the Jets' way of Joe Douglas going to his good buddy and saying, hey, float this idea out there, because then it starts to get the ball rolling a little bit. We've already heard rumors of the Texans talking internally about the discussions about trading Deshaun Watson and what they could get and what their quarterback position could look like in the future. And then I feel bad for Texans fans because they've already lost James Harden this week, and now there's the potential of Deshaun Watson going. And they have actually formulated, they put together a march. They're marching on Houston to keep Deshaun Watson as a Houston Texan. And Deshaun Watson's actually come out and said, no, please don't do that. There's health, public safety concerns and all that. Please, thank you. I appreciate the gesture. It's humbling, but please do not do that. But yeah, so Daniel Jeremiah throws this out there. Why do I think about it? Because the connection with Joe Douglas. There have been smokescreens put out for Joe Douglas in the past, specifically from Todd McShay, his good college roommate back at Richmond, and Daniel Jeremiah, his buddy from Baltimore. So 3 first-round picks seems like it's going to be the benchmark for a Deshaun Watson trade. And let's take a look at some of the trades that have happened over the last few years that sort of fall in line with this. So Jay Cutler was traded back, I believe it was 2009, 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and Kyle Orton. And then Carson Palmer, who is actually a lot closer in similarity to the Deshaun Watson trade just because of, player refusing to play for a team. He sat out for 6 weeks of the 2011 season, wound up being traded for a first and second round pick. These 2 trades happened before the NFL put the rookie salary cap in place, or at least players on those contracts. So the rookie contract is far more important, and I think will force the draft pick to be higher anyway. And guys that we've seen traded recently, like major superstars, Jamal Adams, 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick and a player. Khalil Mack, 2 first-round picks, a 6th-round pick, and a third-round pick. The Bears did get a few picks back in that trade as well. But basically, these are kind of the benchmarks that you're looking at: 2 firsts plus some more picks for a player. Well, if the Texans don't want to trade him to the Jaguars, which is not going to happen in division, if they want to get a quarterback, which is going to be a drafted quarterback or a trade for a quarterback, it means it's going to be 2 or 3, pick 2 or 3. And if they don't want to look like they have egg on their face from trading with Miami to get their own pick back, then going with the Jets and getting 3 first-round picks is not a bad haul. It's something to hang your hat on. I think if the Jets go up to the Texans and they don't slap them in the face by saying, oh, we're just going to give you the second overall pick, if you say, hey, we'll give you 3 first-round picks, now at least that gets the ball rolling. You can draft your quarterback this year. You will have draft picks in the future to sign him. This is a situation that I think could, in theory, happen. And the one big thing about this is Deshaun Watson's no-trade clause. The no-trade clause is the biggest piece of this entire puzzle, because if he decides to sit out like Carson Palmer did, and he decides I'm only going to choose a handful of teams, that severely hamstrings the Texans and their trade negotiations. Now, if I'm the Jets, I want to prevent him from going to Miami. I want a top 3 quarterback as my quarterback, and I want to surround him with talent, because if you trade away both first-round picks this year and a first-round pick next year, then all of a sudden you're starting to lose some of the assets that you could be using to surround him with talent, and then you can make the argument of we're just the Houston Texans except in New Jersey. Yeah, I get it. But then guess what? We also have Sam Darnold. So if you get Deshaun Watson, you trade Sam Darnold. Now you get, say, a second or a third round pick for Sam Darnold. You're just adding more picks to the arsenal for Joe Douglas. So this is an interesting trade rumor for me. I think that when you look at Daniel Jeremiah and you look at the previous trades for quarterbacks and how, this is sort of starting to shape up, I like the Jets' chances. Right now, the Jets are 2-1 favorites to have the. Right now, the Jets are 2-1 favorites to get Deshaun Watson in a trade if he were made available, according to, I don't remember which betting site it was, but I'm excited. I want this to happen. I think there's a realistic shot of it happening. Oh, man. Either way, I think you got to be excited as a Jet fan because there is a lot to talk about this offseason. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. And as always, go Jets.